So guys, here is the new Ultegra XTE Spod. So I'm going to go through what you get in the box, but mainly the video is for to talk about some of the technologies that's inside this reel. A lot of people are buying these reels and are buying a lot of Shimano rods and reels, and they don't actually understand the actual technology, what's inside there. Yeah, you understand the word, but what does the actual words mean? And to be quite honest, unless I work for Shimano, I actually wouldn't know what they mean myself. So I'm going to try and go through them, try my best to explain them and see where we go from there. So here it is, the Ultegra XTE Spod reel. You get obviously your reel in box, you get your handle, and you get your exploded diagram and some instructions and a little bit about your warranty. So let's first of all let's get the handle on the reel. As you can see, I've already loaded it up with my favourite Power Pro. So let's get it on there, and then what we'll do is slowly go over the reel, the features, and like I said, I'll try and explain what they are. So there's the reel itself. As you would agree, very nice, very stealthy, very black, and a perfect addition if you already own the Ultegra XTE reels, because it looks pretty much exactly the same, apart from the insides are slightly different, and the spool, and well, in fact there's quite a bit, and the handle. So let's start from the handle. So you get a cranking handle, so that is different to your normal Ultegra XTE reels. It's thicker, so you've got more grip for cranking for when you're reeling in a spod. Your spool, it's now supplied with a shallow spool. Obviously most people use braid on a spod reel, and you get a hell of a lot of braid on a spool, so there's no need for like a 14,000 or 12,000 or 10,000 depth spool. This is really shallow. I think it's about 3,500, I'm not 100% sure, but more than enough to get your braid on. Then let's talk about the body. So the body is CI4 Plus. Now, going back a few years, you'd only find CI4 Plus used in the more premium reels like the Aero Techniums and the CI4 Plus XTEs and XTBs and going back like that. But now they've incorporated CI4 Plus into this spod reel, which makes this reel very tough and also very light. So when you incorporate a CI4 body with a parallel body as well, so what does parallel mean? So parallel means when, well, we all know what parallel means. So when this is sat on the butt of the rod, when it's on the blank, the actual spool going to the first eye is actually parallel. So when you're casting and the line's coming off the spool, there's less friction because it's going straight to the first eye. So then we move on to, let's get it up high. As you can see, it's got super slow 5, which is 50 raps per oscillation, which obviously gives you an impeccable line lay like that, which again reduces friction, aiding in your cast so you can cast further. So let's go, we've got the spool at its furthest point. So now this is called Rigicast. So there's a technology called Rigicast, and a lot of you have probably seen it and thought, what the heck does Rigicast mean? So Rigicast technology is so that the spool is dead firm. You can move it a little bit, but it's nowhere near as what it was before. A lot of other reels on the market, if you put that spool at its furthest reach, you'll be able to move it quite easily, but that is quite firm. That is called Rigicast. So that's that technology. So right, let's get the spool back down, and then we're going to briefly touch on the insides of the reel. Now this is where it gets complicated. So it incorporates X-Ship. Now X-Ship's been around for quite a while. Most of our reels now feature X-Ship, and they have done for a while. But X-Ship has now been improved. So we've got Infinity Drive. So what is Infinity Drive? So Infinity Drive is when So you got the main shaft inside the reel. Now previously that was supported by a pinion gear, but now it's supported by a low friction bushing, so you've got less friction inside the reel. Now in turn with that, you've got silent drive. So silent drive and infinity drive are part of X-Ship, so it's like an improvement of X-Ship. So with your silent drive, yeah, all the gears have been redeveloped, and they've made those gaps even smaller, so there's hardly any gaps whatsoever. If the reel features infinity drives, it's as close as those gears are ever going to get. There's hardly any gaps, so if there's less gaps, there's less friction, and obviously your gearing's going to last a lot longer. Also, the main shaft has gone through a process of enhanced technology where they've reduced the rotational torque. So it's gone through a process of outer coating on the main shaft to reduce rotational torque, and that's part of your infinity drive. I know it sounds really confusing, but it's all part of X-Ship and how the process of your gearings are put together and how they actually work. I hope that clears up those. What else have we got? We've got your 3 line clips. So very important on a spod reel. So let's just say you're fishing 3 rods, which most people do, and let's say one is fishing at 100 and let's say 100 wraps, yeah, so you'd clip that up to 1 clip, and then if you've got another spot going at less wraps, you'd clip that up to your 2nd clip, and so forth. So you've got 3 clips, so you can wrap up at 3 different distances. So there it is, the Ultegra XTE. I've tried to explain some of those new technologies. I know it's confusing. It would be confusing for me unless I understood them myself. So there it is. It's in the shops now, I believe. It's $174.99. Go and get it. I don't think there's a better spod reel on the market right now. The new Ultegra XTE Spod.